Get your filthy hands off my husband. Yemi's scream tore through the house like a thunderclap, her overnight bag crashing to the marble floor. The living room froze, her husband Femi jerking upright from the sofa, his shirt unbuttoned, lipstick smeared across his collar. And there, smoothing down her dress with trembling hands, stood Blessing, their 23-year-old nanny, her eyes wide with manufactured shock. 4 days. Yemi had worked 4 grueling shifts at 3 different hospitals. Double shifts as a nurse, overnight care for elderly patients, weekend clinic duties, all to scrape together the 2.3 million naira Femi owed to loan sharks who'd threatened to seize their house. 4 days of exhaustion, surviving on Gary and desperation, her feet swollen in her nurse's shoes, her mind replaying Femi's tearful promises. Baby, I'll never let you down again. You're saving our family. And this was her reward. Yemi, wait, this isn't what it looks like. Femi stammered, buttoning his shirt with clumsy fingers. The scent of expensive perfume, the kind Yemi could never afford, hung heavy in the air. Her perfume. The one Femi claimed he'd bought for their anniversary 3 months ago. Blessing's face transformed from shock to something uglier, defiance. Madam, you don't understand. Brother Femi was just. Brother Femi. Yemi's laugh was sharp, bitter. She moved closer, her exhaustion evaporating into pure rage. You're calling him brother, while wearing my robe? While sitting in my house? Hello guys. Welcome to Stories by Stoner. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done if you walked into this nightmare? Let's dive in. The evidence was everywhere now that Yemi's eyes had adjusted from the bright Lagos afternoon. Wine glasses on the coffee table. 2 of them, half empty. The throw pillows scattered across the floor. Blessing's shoes kicked off by the hallway. Comfortable, familiar. This wasn't the first time. How long? Yemi's voice dropped to a whisper that somehow felt more dangerous than her scream. How long have you been sleeping with the girl I hired to watch our children? Madam, please. Blessing started. Shut up. Yemi whirled on her. Where are my children? Where are Tund and Zara? They're at your mother's, Femi said quietly, and something in his tone, that careful, calculated calmness, made Yemi's blood run cold. He'd planned this. He'd sent their 6-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter away. He'd known she'd be working those 4 days. He'd counted on it. You sent my children to Ibadan? Yemi's hands shook. So you could turn our home into a brothel? Femi's face hardened. Don't be dramatic, Yemi. You're never here anyway. Always working, always tired, always too busy for your own husband. What did you expect? The words hit like a slap. Yemi stared at the man she'd married 8 years ago, the man whose gambling debts she just cleared with money earned from wiping strangers' bodies and checking their vitals at 3 a.m. The man who now stood in their living room, defending his affair with their employee. Blessing grabbed her phone from the side table. I should go. No, Yemi said, her voice deadly calm now. You should stay. I want to understand something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping stories like this. What would you do in Yemi's shoes? Yemi's mind raced as she watched Blessing fidget with her phone, fingers hovering over the screen like she was texting someone. Femi had moved to the window, his back turned, shoulders tense. The silence stretched between them like a razor wire. How much did he pay you? Yemi asked suddenly. Blessing's head snapped up. What? How much did my husband pay you to sleep with him? Or did you do it for free, thinking he'd leave me for you? Yemi moved closer, her nurse's instinct for reading people kicking in. She saw it now, the way Blessing's left hand trembled, the way her eyes darted toward Femi for guidance. Or maybe you're pregnant. The sharp intake of breath from the window told Yemi everything. Jesus Christ, she whispered. You're pregnant. Yemi, let me explain. Femi turned, his face pale. She's pregnant. Yemi's voice cracked. The room spun. 4 days. She'd spent 4 days destroying her body, working herself to exhaustion, and he'd spent it creating a new life with another woman. How far along? Blessing's hand moved instinctively to her stomach. 3 months, she whispered. 3 months. Yemi calculated backward. That was during Zara's 4th birthday party. She remembered that weekend clearly. She'd worked a night shift at the hospital, come home exhausted, and Femi had insisted she rest while he and Blessing handled the party preparations. She'd been grateful. She'd actually thanked him for being supportive. You planned my daughter's birthday party, Yemi said slowly, looking at Blessing. And then you slept with her father? In this house? While I was working to keep the roof over your head. It wasn't like that. Blessing burst out. You don't know what it's like. Brother Femi was lonely, he was sad, he said you didn't love him anymore. I was working. Yemi screamed. I was working to pay his debts. To feed his children. To keep his creditors from taking this house. Femi finally spoke, his voice cold. Our house. Yemi. Not my house. You always do this. Act like you're the only one who matters, like you're the only one making sacrifices. Sacrifices. Yemi laughed, a wild sound. What sacrifices have you made, Femi? Tell me. You gambled away our savings. You borrowed money from loan sharks and hid it from me for 6 months. You made me beg my own mother for help while you were here, in our bed, with her. Don't talk to him like that. Blessing stepped forward, protective. You don't appreciate him. Always nagging, always complaining about money. The slap came before Yemi even realized her hand had moved. Blessing stumbled backward, hand to her cheek, eyes wide with shock. You will not speak to me about my marriage, Yemi hissed. You're a child playing house with a man who can't even pay his own bills. Femi grabbed Yemi's arm, his grip tight. Don't touch her. Yemi stared at his hand on her arm, then at his face. This man, who'd promised to love and protect her in a church filled with their families 8 years ago, was now defending the woman carrying his bastard child. The woman who'd eaten at their table, played with their children, slept under their roof. Let go of me, Yemi said quietly. Not until you calm down. Let go of me. Something in her voice made him release her. Yemi stepped back, her mind suddenly clear. The exhaustion was gone, replaced by cold calculation. She'd spent 4 days thinking like a wife, like a mother, like a woman trying to save her family. Now she needed to think like a survivor. I want you both out of this house, she said. Now. Femi laughed. This is my house, Yemi. My name is on the deed. The deed I just saved from the loan sharks? That deed. Yemi pulled her phone from her bag. Funny thing about paying someone's debts. You get receipts. Every single payment, every shift I worked, every kobo I earned has a paper trail. And guess what, Femi? In Nigeria, a wife who can prove financial abandonment and infidelity has rights. She'd learned that 3 months ago when things had gotten bad. She'd consulted a lawyer friend at the hospital, just in case. Just in case it ever came to this. Femi's face changed. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Yemi turned to Blessing. Pack your things. You have 10 minutes. She's not going anywhere, Femi said. Blessing stays. Then I'm calling my lawyer, Yemi said, dialing. And then I'm calling your mother. Let's see what Mama Femi thinks about her grandchild growing up as a bastard because her son couldn't keep his trousers zipped. Blessing's face went white. Please, madam. Yemi, don't bring my mother into this. Then get her out. Yemi's scream echoed through the house. Get your pregnant mistress out of my sight before I do something we'll all regret. What do you think Yemi should do next? Should she fight for her marriage or walk away? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Blessing ran upstairs, her footsteps heavy on the wooden stairs. Femi stood frozen, watching Yemi with an expression she'd never seen before, something between fear and calculation. The man she'd loved was gone. In his place stood a stranger. "You're making a mistake," Femi said quietly. "If you push this, you'll lose everything." Yemi pulled out her laptop from her work bag, hands steady despite the hurricane inside her chest. "I've already lost everything, Femi. My marriage, my trust, 4 days of sleep paying your debts while you made a baby with our nanny. What exactly do I have left to lose?" She opened her email, pulling up the folder she'd created 3 months ago when the debts first surfaced. Every bank statement, every loan document, every threatening message from creditors, she'd documented it all. Her lawyer friend, Ngozi, had advised her to keep records. Just in case, Ngozi had said over coffee at the hospital cafeteria. "Men like Femi don't change, Yemi. They just get better at hiding." Yemi hadn't wanted to believe it then. She defended her husband, insisted he was just going through a rough patch. Now, staring at the evidence of his betrayal scattered across her living room, she wished she'd listened. "I have every receipt from the past 4 days, Yemi said, scrolling through her files. "Every payment I made to clear your debts. The hospital knows I worked those shifts specifically for a family emergency. I have witnesses. I have proof." Femi's jaw clenched. "Proof of what? That you're a good wife? Congratulations, Yemi. Want a medal? Proof that while I was saving this family, you were destroying it." Yemi looked up at him. "How long, Femi? How long have you been sleeping with her? Does it matter?" "Yes." The word exploded from her. "Yes, it matters. Was it before the debts? Did you gamble away our money to impress her? To buy her things? Or did you start this after, when I was too busy working to notice?" Upstairs, drawers slammed. Blessing was packing, but taking her time. Probably texting someone, Yemi thought. Probably calling her family, spinning some story about the crazy madam who attacked her for no reason. Femi moved to the bar cart, poured himself whiskey. "You want the truth? Fine. Blessing sees me, Yemi. Actually sees me. Not as a wallet, not as a debt to fix, but as a man." "A man." Yemi's laugh was hollow. "You're a child, Femi. A spoiled child who gambles away his family's security and then runs to a 23-year-old girl for comfort when his wife is too exhausted from cleaning up your mess. She's carrying my baby. I carried your babies." Yemi's voice broke. "I carried Tund and Zara. I pushed them into this world while you were at the casino, lying about working late. I nursed them, raised them, loved them, and I never once made you feel small about your failures." "That's the problem," Femi said, draining his glass. "You never made me feel anything. You just worked and worked and worked, like a machine. When was the last time you looked at me like a woman looks at her husband?" Yemi stared at him. "When was the last time you gave me a reason to? When was the last time you provided for this family? Paid a bill on time? Came home sober? Kept a promise?" The front door opened suddenly. Yemi's heart stopped as her mother-in-law, Mama Femi, swept into the house in full traditional attire, her geli wrapped high, her face thunderous. "What is this nonsense I'm hearing?" Mama Femi demanded. "Femi, your sister called me, said Blessing was crying on the phone, said your wife attacked her." Yemi's mouth went dry. Blessing had called Femi's family first. Smart girl. "Mama, it's not what you think," Femi started. "Then explain." Mama Femi turned to Yemi. "Yemi, what is wrong with you? That girl has been nothing but helpful to this family, and you assault her." "Assault her?" Yemi's voice was dangerously quiet. "Mama, did Blessing mention she's 3 months pregnant with your son's baby?" The room went silent. Mama Femi's face went through several expressions. Shock, disbelief, anger, and finally, something that looked like resignation. She turned slowly to Femi. "Tell me she's lying," Mama Femi said. Femi said nothing. "Femi Oladil, I'm asking you a question. Tell me your wife is lying about you impregnating the help. Mama, it's complicated. The slap echoed through the room. Mama Femi had struck her son so hard his head turned. Complicated. You've disgraced this family. Your father would die of shame if he were alive to see this. Blessing appeared at the top of the stairs, 2 bags in hand, tears streaming down her face. Mama, please, it's not like that. Brother Femi and I love each other. We didn't mean for it to happen, but love. Mama Femi's voice could have cut glass. You're a homewrecker. A girl young enough to be his daughter, and you spread your legs in his wife's house while she was working to save him. You don't understand. Blessing descended the stairs. I understand perfectly, Mama Femi said coldly. Get out of this house. Now. Mama, where is she supposed to go? Femi protested. She's pregnant. That's not my problem. That's your problem. Mama Femi turned to Yemi, and her face softened slightly. Yemi, my daughter, I'm so sorry. I raised this fool better than this. Please, let me help fix. There's nothing to fix, Mama, Yemi said quietly. Your son made his choice. He chose her over his family, over his children. The children. Mama Femi gasped. Where are Tund and Zora? Femi sent them to my mother in Ibadan, Yemi said, so he could have the house to himself. With her. Mama Femi looked at her son like he was a stranger. You sent my grandchildren away? For this. Femi's face hardened. Everyone needs to leave. This is between me and my wife. Your wife who you betrayed. Mama Femi shook her head. No. I'm staying until we sort this out properly. The drama is heating up. What should happen next? Should Mama Femi take Yemi's side, or will family loyalty win? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe. The tension in the living room was thick enough to choke on. Mama Femi stood between her son and daughter-in-law, her face a mask of fury and disappointment. Blessing hovered near the doorway, bag still clutched in her hands, looking like she might bolt at any moment. Sit down, Mama Femi commanded. All of you. We're going to talk about this like adults. There's nothing to talk about, Yemi said, her voice hollow. The adrenaline was wearing off now, replaced by a bone-deep exhaustion that made her want to collapse. Your son has made his choices clear. Yemi, please, Femi started. Don't, she cut him off. Don't say my name like that. Like you care. Like these past 8 years meant anything to you. Mama Femi sank onto the sofa, suddenly looking every one of her 65 years. How did we get here? Femi, when your father and I arranged your marriage to Yemi, we thought we were securing your future. She's a good woman, educated, from a decent family. Arranged. Yemi's head snapped up. What do you mean, arranged? The silence that followed was deafening. Yemi, you knew. Mama Femi trailed off, reading Yemi's face. Oh no. He didn't tell you. Tell me what? Yemi looked at Femi, whose face had gone ashen. Femi, what is she talking about? Blessing shifted uncomfortably. Maybe I should really go. Stay, Yemi commanded, her eyes never leaving her husband. I want witnesses for whatever lie he's about to tell. Femi, what didn't you tell me? Femi rubbed his face, the gesture one Yemi had seen 1,000 times when he was cornered. It wasn't like that. I mean, yes, our families. They suggested we meet. But I chose to marry you, Yemi. I chose you. Suggested. Mama Femi snorted. Your father paid her bride price before you even proposed. We settled everything with her parents while you two were courting. It was all arranged, Femi. Stop lying. The room tilted. Yemi gripped the arm of the chair to steady herself. 8 years. 8 years of marriage. And it had all been a transaction? My parents knew, she whispered. Everyone knew except you apparently, Mama Femi said, then caught herself. I'm sorry, Yemi. I thought you understood. Most modern marriages in our circle are like this. The families negotiate, the children date to make it look proper, then marriage. It's tradition. But he said he loved me, Yemi's voice cracked. At our wedding, he said. I did love you. Femi insisted. I do love you, Yemi. The arrangement doesn't change that. Then why am I just hearing about it now? Yemi stood, pacing. Why did you let me believe for 8 years that you chose me? That we were a love story? Because you were so happy. Femi threw his hands up. You were so in love, so proud to be Mrs. Oladil. How was I supposed to tell you it was all negotiated by our parents? That your father practically begged mine to take you because you were getting too old and too educated for most men to want. The words hit like bullets. Yemi stumbled backward, and Mama Femi gasped. Femi. That's enough. No, let him continue, Yemi said, her voice eerily calm. Please, tell me more about how my father begged your family to take his spinster daughter off his hands. That's not what I meant. You meant exactly that. Yemi turned to Mama Femi. Is it true? Did my father? Did he beg? Mama Femi's silence was answer enough. Blessing spoke up suddenly, her voice small. Brother Femi told me all this. He said he never wanted to marry you. He said he only did it because his father threatened to cut him off if he didn't settle down. Blessing. Femi shouted. Shut up. No. Blessing stepped forward, emboldened. I'm tired of hiding. He told me everything, Madam Yemi. He said your father paid extra bride price because you were already 29 and desperate. He said his father wanted grandchildren and you seemed fertile enough. Enough. Mama Femi roared. You will not speak to my daughter-in-law that way. But Blessing was on a roll now, months of secret resentment pouring out. He said you were boring in bed, that you never made him feel like a man. He said the only reason he stayed was because you made good money and his parents approved. The second slap of the evening. This time it was Mama Femi who struck Blessing, harder than before. Get out of my sight before I forget I'm a woman of God. Blessing fled, bags bouncing against her legs as she ran for the door. It slammed behind her, leaving the three of them in suffocating silence. Yemi felt numb. Everything she'd believed about her marriage, her life, her worth, it was all a lie. She thought back to their courtship, how Femi had seemed reluctant at first, how their families had pushed them together at church events, family dinners, social gatherings. She'd thought he was shy. She'd thought she was winning him over. She'd been so stupid. Yemi, Mama Femi said gently. Not all of it was lies. My son did grow to care for you. The children. The children, Yemi echoed. Tell me, Mama. Did you know about Blessing too? Is that why you came so quickly? Mama Femi hesitated just a moment too long. Oh God, Yemi laughed bitterly. You knew. How long? How long have you known your son was sleeping with our nanny? I suspected for about 6 weeks, Mama Femi admitted. I came to visit unannounced one afternoon and saw things that didn't seem right. The way they looked at each other. But I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to destroy your family over a suspicion. So you said nothing, Yemi said flatly. You let me keep paying his debts, keep working myself to death, keep believing I had a marriage worth saving. You said nothing. I was hoping he would end it on his own. I was hoping. Well, he didn't end it, Yemi interrupted. He got her pregnant instead. Congratulations, Mama. You're going to have a grandchild born in shame. Femi finally found his voice. Yemi, I know I've hurt you. I know I've made mistakes. But we can fix this. We can go to counseling, work through this. Fix this. Yemi turned to him, and her eyes were dry now, cold. How do you fix 8 years of lies? How do you fix a baby that's coming in 6 months? How do you fix the fact that my entire marriage was a business transaction and I was too stupid to see it? You're not stupid. Then what am I, Femi? What do you call a woman who works 4 jobs to save a man who doesn't love her? Who raises his children while he's impregnating the help? Who believes every lie because she's so desperate to be chosen? The words hung in the air. Yemi grabbed her laptop, her phone, her bag. I'm going to my mother's to get my children. When I come back tomorrow, I want you gone. Pack your things and get out. This is my house. Femi protested. Actually, Yemi said coldly, according to Nigerian law, any property acquired during marriage is joint property. And I have 4 days of receipts proving I just paid 2.3 million naira of your debt to save this house from foreclosure. My lawyer will be very interested in that. So I suggest you find somewhere else to sleep tonight. Maybe Blessing's family will take you in. She walked to the door, then paused. And Mama Femi? Thank you for finally showing me who your son really is. It's the kindest thing you've ever done for me. Yemi is finally seeing the truth. But what will she do next? Drop your predictions in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe. The 5-hour drive to Ibadan had given Yemi too much time to think. Her hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles had gone white, and tears she'd held back for hours finally streamed down her face as the city lights of Lagos disappeared behind her. Every kilometer brought new memories. Femi's proposal at that restaurant, their wedding day, the birth of Tund, little Zara's first steps. All of it poisoned now by the truth. Her phone rang constantly. Femi. Mama Femi. Unknown numbers. She ignored them all. It was past midnight when she finally pulled up to her mother's compound in Ibadan. The security guard recognized her car and opened the gate quickly. Her mother, Mama Ibadan as everyone called her, was already on the veranda in her nightgown, worry etched across her face. Yemi. What's happened? You look terrible. Her mother rushed down the steps. Yemi collapsed into her arms and finally let herself break. Great, heaving sobs that shook her entire body. Mama Ibadan held her daughter, stroking her hair, asking no questions, just holding her the way she had when Yemi was a child. Inside, over hot tea, Yemi told her everything. Her mother's face went from shock to anger to something that looked like guilt. You knew, Yemi said, reading her mother's expression. You knew about the arrangement. Mama Ibadan set down her cup carefully. Yes. I knew. How could you? Yemi's voice was raw. How could you let me marry him thinking it was love? Because you needed to be married. Her mother burst out. Yemi, you were 29. With your head buried in nursing school and career plans. Every eligible man I introduced you to, you rejected. Too ambitious, you said. Too traditional. Too boring. Meanwhile, your younger cousins were getting married, having children, and you were still living like a student. So you sold me. Yemi stood, pacing the small sitting room. You literally sold me to the Oladilis? We didn't sell you. We made a good match. Mama Ibadan's voice rose. The Oladilis are a respected family. Femi had a degree, came from money, seemed stable. How was I to know he would turn out to be useless? You knew he gambled, Yemi said quietly. Don't lie to me now, Mama. Not after everything. Her mother's silence confirmed it. His father mentioned it during the negotiations. Mama Ibadan finally admitted. Small stakes, he said. Just social gambling, nothing serious. He promised Femi would settle down once married. And you believed him? Yemi laughed bitterly. Or did you just not care as long as you could tell the churchwomen your daughter was finally married? That's not fair. Fair. Yemi whirled on her mother. What's fair about working myself to death for a man who was sleeping with our nanny? What's fair about finding out my whole marriage was a lie? What's fair about being told my own father begged them to take me because I was too old and too educated? Mama Ibadan flinched. Your father never begged. He negotiated. There's a difference. Where is he? Yemi demanded. Where's Papa? He's in the back room with the children. They've been asking for you. Yemi stormed through the house, throwing open the door to find her father, Papa Ibadan, reading a storybook to Tund and Zara. Both children looked up, their faces lighting up when they saw their mother. "Mummy!" They screamed in unison, launching themselves at her. Yemi caught them, holding them so tightly they squirmed. These babies. Her babies. The only pure thing left from that cursed marriage. "Papa, can we talk?" Yemi said over their heads. Outside. Her father kissed the children and followed her to the veranda. He looked older than his 68 years, his shoulders stooped. He already knew why she was here. "How much did you pay them?" Yemi asked without preamble. "How much did it cost to get rid of your educated daughter?" "Yemi, tell me." She was shouting now, and she didn't care. "I want to know my price." 500,000 naira for bride price, another 300,000 for the traditional ceremony, and I cleared Femi's father's business debt of 1 million, her father said quietly. 1.8 million naira total. Yemi staggered. That was nearly what she'd just paid to clear Femi's gambling debts. History repeating itself, with her caught in the middle. "Why?" she whispered. "Why did you do it?" "Because I was afraid," Papa Ibadan said, his voice breaking. "I was afraid you'd end up alone. All your mates were married with children, and you were still chasing degrees and career goals. I thought I was protecting you, giving you security. You gave me prison," Yemi said. "You gave me 8 years with a man who never loved me, who gambled away everything, who cheated on me in our own home. That's what your protection bought me." "I'm sorry," her father said, and tears ran down his weathered face. "Yemi, I'm so sorry. If I had known." "But you didn't care to know, did you?" Yemi's anger was cold now, precise. "You just wanted me married and off your hands. Mission accomplished, Papa." She turned to go back inside, but her father grabbed her arm. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to do what I should have done 8 years ago," Yemi said. "I'm going to choose myself." Inside, she called her lawyer friend Ngozi, not caring that it was 1 a.m. Ngozi answered on the third ring, voice groggy. "Yemi. What's wrong?" "I need you to file for divorce," Yemi said. "Tomorrow. First thing. And I need you to help me take everything he has." "Slow down," Ngozi said, suddenly alert. "What happened?" Yemi explained everything. The affair, the pregnancy, the arranged marriage revelation, all of it. As she spoke, she opened her laptop and began forwarding every document she had to Ngozi's email. Bank statements, loan receipts, text messages, photos of the house, everything. "This is good," Ngozi said, and Yemi could hear her tapping on a keyboard. "This is very good. With proof of infidelity, financial abandonment, and your recent payments on his debts, we can argue that you have majority stake in all marital assets." "I want the house," Yemi said, "and full custody of the children." "You'll get both," Ngozi assured her. "Yemi, with what you're showing me, you won't just win. You'll destroy him." "Good," Yemi said coldly. "I want him to feel what I felt tonight. I want him to lose everything." "What about blessing the pregnancy?" "Let them have each other," Yemi said. "Let Femi try to support 2 households on nothing. Let him see how much his mistress loves him when the money runs out." They talked for another hour, building strategy. Ngozi would file the papers first thing Monday morning. They'd freeze joint accounts, file for temporary custody, and serve Femi with a restraining order keeping him away from the marital home. "One more thing," Yemi said before hanging up. "His mother knew. Can we use that?" "Maybe," Ngozi said thoughtfully. "If we can prove she enabled the affair or concealed information, we might be able to prevent her from claiming grandparents' rights later. Send me everything you remember from that conversation." After the call ended, Yemi sat in the darkness of her childhood bedroom, typing out every detail of the confrontation. Every word Mama Femi had said about knowing, about suspecting, about choosing to stay silent. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Madam Yemi, this is Blessing. Please, I'm begging you. Brother Femi threw me out. I have nowhere to go. I'm pregnant with your husband's baby. Please have mercy. Yemi stared at the message for a long moment, then blocked the number. Tomorrow, she would wake up and start building her new life. But tonight, she would let herself feel the full weight of everything she'd lost. And everything she was about to take back. The revenge plan is taking shape. What do you think will happen when Femi gets served with divorce papers? Will Blessing come crawling back? Drop your thoughts and hit subscribe. Monday morning came with the sharp clarity that only rage and purpose could bring. Yemi had barely slept, but she felt more awake than she had in years. She dressed carefully in her best navy suit, the one she wore for important hospital meetings, and applied makeup to hide the exhaustion. If she was going to war, she would look like someone who'd already won. Her children were still asleep when she kissed their foreheads. Grandma will take you to school today, she whispered to Tund, who stirred slightly. Mummy has important work. The drive back to Lagos was different this time. No tears. No second guessing. Just cold determination and a folder full of documents that would change everything. Ngozi met her at the law office at 8 a.m. sharp, already dressed for court. Ready? Her friend asked. More than ready, Yemi replied. By 10 a.m., the divorce papers were filed. By 11 a.m., a process server was on his way to the house in Lagos with not just divorce papers, but a temporary restraining order and an emergency motion for full custody. By noon, Yemi had frozen their joint accounts and filed a lien against Femi's car, the one luxury he'd managed not to gamble away. Phase 1 complete, Ngozi said, checking her phone. The server just confirmed delivery. Femi has been served. Yemi's phone exploded with calls. She let them ring, watching the screen light up with Femi's name over and over. Finally, a text came through. What have you done? Call me now. She showed it to Ngozi, who smiled grimly. Forward that to me. Threatening tone. All caps. We can use it. At 2 p.m., they had their first victory. The judge granted the emergency custody motion based on Femi's infidelity and the unstable home environment. Tund and Zara were legally in Yemi's sole custody until the full hearing. At 3 p.m., Yemi's phone rang with a number she recognized. Mama Femi. Don't answer, Ngozi warned. I want to hear this, Yemi said, putting it on speaker. Yemi. What is the meaning of this? Mama Femi's voice was shrill. Divorce. Restraining order? You're keeping my grandchildren from me. The restraining order is against Femi, not you, Yemi said calmly. You can still see the children, but it will be supervised and scheduled through my lawyer. This is madness. You're destroying this family over one mistake. One mistake. Yemi's voice hardened. Your son had a 3-month affair with our employee in our home while I worked to pay his debts. He got her pregnant. And you knew, Mama. You knew for 6 weeks and said nothing. That's not one mistake. That's systematic betrayal. I was trying to protect you. No, Yemi said quietly. You were trying to protect him. Like you've always done. Like his father did. That's why he's 42 years old and still acting like a spoiled child. Well, I'm done protecting him. I'm done being his safety net. If you go through with this, you'll get nothing. We'll fight you on every. Fight me. Yemi laughed. Mama, I have receipts for 2.3 million naira I paid last week to save that house from foreclosure. I have bank records showing 8 years of me being the primary breadwinner. I have text messages from loan sharks threatening your son. I have witnesses to the affair. I have a pregnant mistress who will testify because Femi threw her out with nowhere to go. What exactly will you fight me with? The silence on the other end was satisfying. And one more thing, Yemi continued. I know you knew about the affair. My lawyer is very interested in filing a civil suit against you for emotional distress and enabling infidelity. So unless you want to lose your pension fighting me in court, I suggest you tell your son to sign the divorce papers quietly. She hung up before Mama Femi could respond. Ngozi was grinning. You're really good at this. 8 years of dealing with difficult patients taught me a lot, Yemi said. Now, what's next? Now we wait for his response, Ngozi said. He has 30 days to contest, but honestly, Yemi, I don't think he will. He has no money for a lawyer, no grounds to fight, and we have everything documented. My guess. He'll try to negotiate. She was right. By 5 p.m., Femi's cousin, a lawyer named Teyo, called Ngozi's office requesting a meeting. My client wants to discuss terms, he said formally. Tell your client he can discuss terms when he signs papers giving my client the house, full custody, and 0 alimony obligations on her part, Ngozi replied. He created this mess. He can sleep in it. The meeting was set for Wednesday at Ngozi's office. 2 days for Femi to stew in what he'd lost. That evening, Yemi returned to Ibadan and took her children to their favorite ice cream shop. Tund, at 6, sensed something was different. Mummy, why didn't Daddy come with us? Yemi knelt down to his level. Daddy and I are going to be living in different houses for a while, she said gently. But you and Zara will always have both of us who love you very much. Nothing changes that. Did you and Daddy have a fight? Zara asked, her 4-year-old face scrunched with worry. Sometimes grown-ups can't fix their fights, Yemi said. But that's not your problem to worry about. Your job is to be kids and eat ice cream. Okay. They seemed satisfied with that, returning to their cones. But Yemi saw the questions in Tun's eyes. He was smart, her boy. He'd figure it out eventually. She just hoped she could protect them from the worst of it. That night, another text came from Blessing. Madam, I'm so sorry. Brother Femi won't answer my calls. His mother says I'm a disgrace. I'm staying with my sister, but she wants me gone. I don't know what to do. The baby. Yemi stared at the message for a long time. This girl, because that's what she was, just a girl, had helped destroy her marriage. Had slept with her husband, gotten pregnant, thrown the affair in her face. Yemi should hate her. But all she felt was pity. She typed back. Blessing, I can't help you. What you did was wrong, and you need to face the consequences. But for the baby's sake, I'll tell you this. There are organizations that help single mothers. Catholic Relief Services, the Mother's Mercy Home in Surulere. They have programs. Use them. Don't contact me again. She hit send, then blocked the number permanently. Wednesday came. Yemi wore another suit, red this time, the color of power. She walked into Ngozi's conference room to find Femi already there with his cousin Teyo. Femi looked terrible. Unshaven, eyes bloodshot, clothes wrinkled. Good. Thank you for coming, Teyo began professionally. My client. Let me save us all some time, Ngozi interrupted, sliding a document across the table. This is our offer. Mrs. Oladil gets the house, full custody of the children, and all marital assets acquired during the marriage. Mr. Oladil is responsible for his own debts. He gets visitation rights, supervised, initially, and no financial support from Mrs. Oladil. In exchange, we won't pursue civil suits for emotional distress or file complaints with his employer about the financial irregularities we've discovered. Femi's head snapped up. What financial irregularities? The 500,000 naira you embezzled from your company's petty cash last year to cover gambling debts, Ngozi said calmly. We found the records. Your boss doesn't know yet. He won't know if you sign. Yemi hadn't known about this. She stared at Ngozi, who gave her a subtle nod. Her lawyer had been busy. Femi's face went grey. You can't prove. I can prove everything, Ngozi said. Sign the papers, Mr. Oladil. Walk away with your freedom and your job. Or fight us and lose everything, including your career. Teyo leaned over, whispering urgently to Femi. Yemi watched her husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, realize he had no cards left to play. This man who'd once held all the power in their relationship, who'd made her feel small and grateful just to be chosen, was now completely at her mercy. "I need time to think," Femi started. "You have until 5 p.m. today," Ngozi said. "After that, we file the embezzlement complaint and go to full trial. Your choice." They left him there, broken and defeated. Outside the office, Yemi finally let herself breathe. "Did you really find embezzlement evidence?" she asked Ngozi. "Maybe," Ngozi grinned. "Or maybe I was bluffing. But he doesn't know that, does he? And the fact that he didn't deny it tells me everything I need to know." At 4:47 p.m., Tayo called. Femi would sign. 1 week later, Yemi stood in her house now, legally and completely. She'd had the locks changed, had Blessing's room cleared out and converted into a home office. The pictures of Femi were in a box in the attic. The children's rooms remained the same, their safe space protected. She'd kept the job at the hospital but cut back to normal hours. No more killing herself with multiple shifts. She'd paid off the remaining small debts with her savings, the last of Femi's mess she'd clean up, and started fresh accounts in just her name. Her phone rang. It was her mother. "Yemi, people are talking," Mama Ibadan said. "They're saying terrible things about the divorce, about you keeping the children from their father, about—" "Let them talk," Yemi said. "Mama, I spent 8 years living for what other people thought. For what you thought. For what Femi's family thought. For what the church thought. I'm done with that. If people want to gossip, they can gossip. I know my truth. But your reputation." "My reputation as what? As someone who stayed with a cheating gambling addict because leaving would be scandalous? No thank you. I'd rather be the woman who chose herself." There was a long pause. Then her mother said quietly, "I'm proud of you." Yemi's eyes filled with tears. "Really? Really? I was wrong, Yemi. About everything. About pushing you into that marriage. About prioritizing appearances over your happiness. You're stronger than I ever was. Your children are lucky to have you." After they hung up, Yemi walked to the window and looked out at the Lagos skyline. Somewhere out there, Femi was figuring out how to live on his own salary, probably already gambling what little he had. Somewhere, Blessing was learning that being a mistress and being a wife were very different things. Somewhere, Mama Femi was realizing that protecting her son from consequences had only made him weaker. But here in this house, Yemi was free. Bruised, exhausted, but free. She'd worked 4 shifts to save a marriage that wasn't worth saving. Now she'd work every day to build a life that was. Her phone buzzed with a message from Ngozi. "Final papers signed. It's official. Congratulations, you're free." Yemi smiled, truly smiled, for the first time in what felt like forever. Free. What a beautiful word. She had a long road ahead, rebuilding her savings, co-parenting with a man she no longer trusted, explaining to her children why their family looked different now. But she'd face it all on her own terms, in her own time, with her own strength. The 4 shifts had cost her a marriage. But they'd given her something far more valuable, herself. The end. What an incredible journey. Yemi chose herself and won everything. What did you think of this story? Drop your comments below telling us what you would have done differently. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Stories and for more powerful African stories, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Share this with someone who needs to hear Yemi's story. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, sometimes losing everything is how you find yourself. See you in the next story.